final episode of How Should We Then Live, Schaefer covered some grave issues that were just sizzling in the late 20th century, which have now come to a scathing boil. In his age, he saw dictatorship, media bias, people wandering through life on foundations as sturdy as a melting pond in the winter. But this was only the beginning. He spoke much of the arbitrary elite, the idea of decisions being made by a few select individuals, which seemed to appeal to much of society, and today we're just sliding farther down the track. The phrase fake news is being used all over the place. In fact, it increased at 365% in use from 2016 to 2017. But the biggest problem is not that this news is fake, it's the truth, but twisted. Social media, especially due to our technology growing, as Schaefer predicted, is an extremely powerful force in the psychology of America. After all, the best deceptions are the ones that have a little bit of truth mixed in. The arbitrary light, as it has many times in history, is once again rising to the surface. Again, in Schaefer's own country he was born in, America. Why? We have no base. Like it used to be, our base was God, like back in the 50s and 60s, and like that was what our country was based on. But we've gotten rid of that base, so now we don't have a base, and we realize how horrible it is. We have been taught to receive knowledge, yet we don't know how to harness it into wisdom. So we are just aimless, foundationless. But society has made it clear that we can't use God as our foundation. So we go to the next biggest thing we can find, the government. So the only solution would be to turn to God, but obviously society doesn't want that. So we have no solid objective base. So what would Schaefer say today if he was still here? Well, here's a quote. Quote, "If there is no absolute moral standard, then one cannot say in a final sense that anything is right or wrong. By absolute, we mean that which always applies, that which provides a final or ultimate standard. There must be an absolute if there are to be morals, and there must be an absolute if there are to be real values. If there is no absolute beyond man's ideas, then there is no final appeal to judge between individuals and groups whose moral judgments conflict. We are merely left with conflicting opinions." So, what would Schaefer say? I was right. This cycle is turning again, and the wheels are squeaking down the path of the human cycle. So now we need not ask ourselves what is going to happen. We know the cycle, we know what happens. So now we need to ask ourselves, what are we going to do?